Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about two different things, an update about my week of training so far and how it will wrap up, and also my plans for I guess the next cycle of training. So without any further procrastination, let's get right into this video. So for the first part of this video, talking about how my week of training has been going, and I would say that generally it's been going well. The first day when I did squats, bench, and deadlifts, and I did them all, but obviously really light. So the first day I worked up to like 95 pounds, and I alternated between back squats and front squats, and I noticed that front squats felt a little better than back squats, but I didn't want to push it past that point just because it was a little achy at that point, my IT band I should say. In between sets when I was doing those, it was like a PVC pipe, and I was rolling out on that and doing that in between every single one of my sets, just really trying to grind that into just massage that as hard as I could in between sets, and I found that helped a little bit for like the first rep or two, and then it kind of go back to how it was before, and I just kept, I do like 5 reps, roll it out, and then do some more, and I did that for I don't know how many sets, but it seemed like forever. It was really boring to do, and I recorded a little bit of it. I didn't record any of me rolling it out, but some of the front squats, and it's really boring because it's only 95 pounds, and I also did some deadlifts with like 135 or something, and some bench. I believe. I completely forget because I just haven't been doing any heavy weights, so nothing's really been sticking in my mind like, oh, I did this for this rep. So it's just like doing boring stuff. But yesterday I worked up to 135 pounds for back squat, and then like 155 pounds I believe for front squat, because front squats felt a little better, so I pushed those a little bit more. And IT band between days recovered well, and from last week to this week my IT band definitely feels a lot better. And just as far as general like mobility, if I'm just stretching in my living room, if I just squat down, squat up, if I have any pain, it's hardly anything at all, and before it was kind of tight everywhere and all the time. So that's definitely an improvement, and as far as squats goes, definitely improved with how it felt during that. And when I did squats yesterday, I did the same thing in between sets, rolling it out with that PVC pipe whatever thing that I'm sure you've seen other people use that kind of thing. So that's a positive note. And I also went back today and I ended up doing some hack squats, some back extensions, some overhead press, some dumbbell overhead press, just a bunch of kind of random things. But what was interesting with the hack squats is I went really light because I wasn't going to try to destroy my IT band by doing a lot of quad stuff 2 days in a row. But I pushed down on about where it hurt or about where it's painful when I come up or go to the bottom, and as it got more painful I pushed down harder. So I don't know if that's kind of the effect that if like your foot hurts and someone comes up and pinches you, you forget your foot hurts, or if it's some sort of thing where if I'm pushing on that spot it helps a little bit. But I found that let me do a couple more reps, but I didn't go too crazy with that, and maybe like 2 sets of 5 at like 50 pounds, nothing significant whatsoever. I don't believe I recorded any of those. Actually, I'm almost positive I didn't record any of those, unless someone stuck my camera over there and recorded without me paying attention, so you won't be seeing any of those. But I also did some hip abduction and adduction, and I want to add those more in and do a lot of those, especially next week, a lot of those stupid accessories that I hate doing so much, because I think those are important to help me recover and kind of build up my weaknesses, because my tendency is to focus on squats and bench and deadlift, clean and jerks and snatches, which all kind of work in the same plane and the same kind of muscles in the similar ways. Obviously they're different movements, so they work different ways, but I mean they're squat and they're not varied enough. They're not working on a lot of the little muscles that need worked as much as a lot more than what I have been doing. So that's something I want to focus on next week. But when I work out next week, I'll probably try to do at least one heavy day, and by a heavy day I mean work to like a heavy single on a squat, even if it's painful, and then just stop there just to see how A, it feels, and B, how it recovers after doing that heavy rep, and kind of build up slowly like that, but not slowly in the sense of the weight, but slowly as in terms of what volume that I'm doing. If it's really painful, then I'll scale it back a little bit, and if it's not too bad, then I'll probably do another day where I do a heavy single or a little bit heavier or something like that, and kind of do the same thing with deadlift and see how it feels with that. I don't really have too much issues with my IT band when I deadlift, but still a little bit more so after I squat, so I should be able to deadlift relatively normally, but I'm not going to go absolutely crazy. but just a little bit crazy, just my normal crazy maybe. But benches should be pretty much recovered by next week. My shoulder pain wasn't that bad or anything. I just need a little bit time off from there to let my shoulders kind of extra recover. So that should be relatively normal next week with that. So that will be nice, working with a little bit heavier weights with that. But I'll talk about more of what I want to do with my programming and different things like that, and that will kind of affect what I do next week on the next part of this video. But that's about all I want to talk about as far as training goes this week. In summary, generally I'm moving in the positive direction. Hopefully that direction continues to be positive next week, and I can continue to have my IT band or hip or whatever kind of recover. I think the big thing I need to focus on is working the little muscles and continuing to work on the mobility and continue just to roll it out, and just to not be stupid in the gym and do ego lift at any point, or to do anything that I shouldn't be doing, and just be really conservative, at least for probably next week for sure, and then I'll be easing back into things, and deadlifts and bench will probably get back to normal pretty quick, and squats may take a little bit longer, and then Olympic lifts kind of follow that same thing, will take a little bit longer as well. But yeah, so let me know what you think of this part in the video, and hopefully you made it this far and you're gonna watch the next part. And if you do, you're my favorite person. You watching, my favorite person, nobody else but just you. Even if someone else watches it, they aren't as important as you watching it right now, which may seem like a contradiction or an oxymoron, but it really isn't. So as far as what I want to do with my programming, I want to speak generally about it. I may make a video about the specifics, but I'm still kind of writing things out and kind of typing it into an Excel sheet and kind of having different ideas. I had some new ideas today about different things I want to include, but in general, I want to have a heavy day, an accessory day, a day off. Heavy day, accessory day, and then a light day, so kind of 2 accessory days. And the idea of the heavy day, and this is all just really tentative, but like a heavy squat day, heavy bench day, and then a really light deadlift movement or a row movement. And then accessory day would be rows or a deadlift, really light stuff to kind of work on the little muscles. And then a heavy day, maybe a heavy deadlift day with higher rep squat stuff and bench stuff. I can bench a lot of the times during the week. But I still want to do kind of generally the 3 movements on the heavy days. But I want to kind of have a lower rep, heavier day with like a squat movement, and then like a higher rep movement with deadlifts, and kind of bench. I can kind of do whatever I want with that, since there's not too affected. But I guess the only caveat to that is I want to add more overhead pressing movements, so that may affect how much I do a bench, though. Be kind of playing the same kind of role as the deadlift and bench, kind of play off each other. I want to do a lot more overhead press and kind of work on building that up a little bit. And I think that's only going to help my bench, because I do think that's my weak point. I think I have pretty strong triceps, pretty strong chest, and I think my shoulders are lacking behind, so that's a weakness that I want to work on with that. So that will affect what I do as far as my training goes as well. And I think one of the issues with my shoulders that in the past is that I've done a lot of lateral raises, rear delt flies, a lot of things where you're going to like there, but not a lot of just overhead pressing stuff, and you're not going to get good at overhead pressing unless you do that a lot. So my program, as I get more things structured, and it's nice next week because I'm not really doing anything too crazy, I can kind of spend more time structuring what I want to do. And since I'm on school break kind of today, I have 2 teacher days next week, but no students, so I don't have to worry about planning lessons and stuff. But I'll have more time to plan what I want to do more in the long term. But I do want to take more of a hypertrophy type mindset with my even on my heavier days. So if I do like a heavy squat day, maybe I do like, I don't know, 3 sets of 3 or something with like squats. But then I want to have deadlifts where I do sets of 8 or sets of 10, higher reps with that, and kind of mix it up more so with those lifts, because I think in the tendency in the past I got lazy and just wanted to do low reps or everything because it was a little bit easier and I didn't have to work as hard. I didn't have to like use the cardio and all that stuff. I still had to work hard, but I wanted to use heavier weights and just do triples and doubles and nothing too crazy as far as reps. But I kind of want to go a little bit more crazy with the reps, because I think that will help a little bit more with the hypertrophy and allow me to not to just grind myself in the ground by doing heavy weights for all my exercise and low reps all the time. So kind of a mix and match of different things. And I think that sort of training will be more sustainable in the long term. because I'm not one, I don't like doing like just a hypertrophy type phase, and while maybe that's more beneficial, I just can't really bring myself to like, I'm gonna do 10 sets of, or 10 reps for all my squats and deadlifts and bench and all of that stuff. To me, that's one, it's really difficult to do, and it's really boring because it's really hard to progress when you're doing 10 reps. But I think if I do a mix and match, I can kind of get myself to do that a little bit more and still kind of work with heavier weights with lower reps and kind of mix that. So kind of mix and match with that. But as I get that more structured, I'll talk about that more in the specifics with that. Because there's a lot I still need to add. I just have like a couple days planned, and I didn't even add the accessory days, so I want to structure those a lot more. Because in the past, my accessory days was just like, it's kind of whatever I feel like doing. And while I think those days aren't horrible in the gym, I definitely think for me, I need to structure those accessory days a lot more. Otherwise, I just don't do as much as I probably should, and I get kind of lazy. And ironically, I get lazy, but I will grind myself on the ground with heavy weights, but like, you know, God forbid I do like curls or something, like I can't force myself to do those. It's kind of ironic, yeah, it's ironic that that I can't force myself to do the easier lifts with that. Maybe I got too big of an ego, but hopefully I can get that fixed and start to get real big. And the last thing I will mention is as far as my weight goes, wait, why did I put that in quotes? It's just my weight. I'm continuing to eat a lot. And I'm about, I would say like 195, 196 as far as like morning weight. And then once I eat anything, I can be really close to like 200, like 199. I haven't been at 200, but I've been like 199 point something. And so I'm retaining a lot of fluid with that, probably just because I'm eating a lot. But my true body weight's probably like 196. So hopefully I can get that a little bit closer to 200. I'm not worried too much about that because I'm just eating a lot. So I mean, if I don't gain weight, I don't gain weight. But if I eat a lot, then I should recover fine. And I just have to focus on that. And it should be easy around Christmas to eat lots, because there'll be lots and lots of delicious food around. So just not trying to limit myself and not trying to eat a bunch of cupcakes and sugar that's sitting around. And I say that because I did that at school today. Ate a bunch of candy and a bunch of cupcakes and sugar and whatnot. Probably not the healthiest thing, but man, it was pretty delicious. It was pretty darn good. But I'll wrap up this video here. So let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for training ideas or different things that I can look into as far as the programming, I don't want to do any. I want to do my own stuff, as narcissistic as that may sound. I want to do my own stuff. I kind of like structuring my own programs and doing my own ideas, and kind of writing my own programs. It's hard for me to do other people's programs because I always feel like I could do more, and really honestly I do a lot more than most programs do anyway, and perhaps that's why I'm a little bit achy right now. But I think it's kind of like how I like to train, so it's kind of how I'm going to keep training with that until something breaks, and maybe then I'll reassess. But I get a feeling that if I'm not an idiot about my lifting, then I shouldn't be breaking down too badly, other than, you know, aches and pains like I have now. And if that's all I ever have to deal with, then I should be good to go in the long term. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I apologize for the boring training footage, but it's the best I could do on a deload week. And yeah, so that's about it. So thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.